Okay, I'm back. It's been about 1 minute. The errors you see are files that don't actually really exist, so go ahead and ignore those. Obviously, this step's going to depend on how much data that you have. The tablet that I'm demonstrating this on obviously just had a pretty much a fresh install, so the time isn't going to be a whole lot. So if you pretty much had maxed your tablet out around the 10 gigabytes, I'm guessing it'd probably take 10 to 15 minutes to transfer all that over. Again, that's just a guess. One of the other caveats, I guess, while we're waiting is a little bit later when the tablet boots, you're going to have um, the option to, well, actually, here, let's do this. So we're backing up your old boot and recovery images, just patch them and reinstall them. Um, you'll have the option to install the FSCK patch. It'll detect on whether you have it or not. This one was already patched, and if not, it'll give you, I believe the script will give you the option to patch it. I may just because the patch is pretty much tested good and helps so many people, it may just auto install the patch. So right now we're going to boot Android, and you'll see at this next step, pretty much what I've done is before we go back and format the internal storage, we want to make sure that we can boot entirely off the external storage. Um, Otherwise, it will erase the internal storage and it's much harder to recover your tablet if something went wrong and then you've lost the data. Of course, everybody's taking a backup, right? So anyway, we're back to the tablet. Seems like, I guess in this point, go ahead and open some of your apps, games, play some things, do some stuff. I mean, I'd leave the tablet plugged in, um, and try some things out and see if it works before continuing on to the step over here. So as you can see, I don't know how blurry that is, but we got internal storage is now 57, uh, 58 gigabytes. You'll notice that there is no SD card. That's where, this is what I started talking about when we were doing the data transfer, is the SD card, if you format it as FAT32, it'll show up in that space. It can be used on the tablet, and it will also can be used in MTP mode, and your Windows computer would see the internal and the internal storage, and in this case the SD card, which is actually the real internal storage. Anyway, so let's go ahead and click looks good. Obviously, at that step, if you wanted to exit the software because it wasn't right, you'll still have all your data on the internal storage, and much easier to just get back to where you were at that point. Um, like I said, only bug that I've noticed is we're going to format in the actual NABI internal storage to FAT32 so that it shows up. One of the problems ends up being that sometimes when you unplug it, it doesn't file check it, and I've noticed that there's some corrupt files on there. Um, that's pretty much the only problem. So the script shows is done. We're going to go ahead and reboot, and I guess I can show you again. Otherwise, that's pretty much the end of the video. We will see if the NEBI shows back up. Anyway, yeah, let me get back to that. The only caveat is with that internal storage, I wouldn't put a whole lot of important stuff on there, but it's a place you could toss some videos, pictures, a good place to put your backup, actually. Which was another thing you noted. We booted to TWRP swap storage on the second time, and that's what's actually still installed in your recovery partition. The swap storage, I changed some of the wording around and mounted things differently, so things make a little bit more sense. Here is an example of as your internal storage, and here's now the SD card at 10. We can look at that on the tablet as well. And like I said, the SD card I wouldn't put too much important stuff on, but anyway, if you can see it, there's your SD card at 9 and the internal at the 64 gigs really. Okay, so hopefully this video ended up being longer than I wanted because I seem to talk a lot on these videos, probably because I get nervous and I'm terrible at these things. And that's why I'm not an actor. Anyway, thanks for watching.